So Chris
Okay,
Hemsworth,
go.
I thought great in this.
Does he take his
Um,
shirt off? I can't remember now.
yes, that was my one critique. I'm like, you almost had it. I'm like, you almost had the serious thing, but then you had to do the fucking bathroom or the bedroom shot where he had to
Yes.
roll over to show the abs. And I'm like, you motherfucker. In the criminal justice system, there are two separate, yet equally important groups: the criminals who commit the crimes and the police who investigate the crimes poorly. Because we're talking movies, we're talking Crime 101, starring Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo. Chris, you look like a person who has secrets.
I mean, since I don't have a quote, I feel like this episode needs to start with dun 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 dun. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode. How'd you like that movie? As Scott said, we're going to be talking about Crime 101, the recent release from writer director Bart Layton. You might know his work from American Animals and the documentary The Imposter. Scott, vroom, vroom, take us away.
Ooh, well, I like the tagline for this movie. One crime connects them all. Like
I thought the
that's
tagline
it.
should,
That's all
should
you.
be something. What?
That's it. It's just like, oh, I figured like the police and the insurance and the criminal were going to be all tied to one crime, but
in,
hey,
in the same movie.
yeah,
You're like, yes, yes, that's typically how movies work. When I was watching it, I was like, I thought the tagline could have been something like, sometimes you got to break the rules or something like that, right? Because they all have rules, and then it's the plot basically hinges on the breaking of those rules for the most part, or in
well,
some respects.
I thought it was going to be like class in session, crime 101.
Yeah, it's a weird title. I mean, it is based on a novella. So, I mean, they didn't really get. I mean, I guess they could have changed the tagline themselves. But yeah, where I got it. Yeah, it's based on the novella by Don Winslow. He also wrote the movie Savages, which was directed by Oliver Stone. Savages is a crazy film. I mean, I watched it fairly recently. It didn't hold up as well as it did when I first watched it. I think the whole like Blake Lively threesome thing. Although, what's his name there?
Aaron Taylor
Benicio del
Johnson.
Toro.
Oh,
He's. I love when he just plays a crazy motherfucker, just like coked out of his mind, chopping people up with like a chainsaw or whatever. Savage. Ah, savage. Okay, Scott, what do you think of this movie, man? Give me your
um,
broad strokes
okay.
instead of your short strokes that you give
Yeah,
your wife.
yeah. So out of the theater reaction because literally it's been less than 8 hours since I've watched this movie. Um, I will say it's okay. Like it's fine. Like I would give it like if I'm doing a number rating, a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I just found it, and I think it's more in terms of the direction. Like it seems like the director Brett, or sorry, Bart, tried really hard to make a Michael Mann film,
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Well, I would agree
right?
that Michael Mann is a like Heat. You're talking about like in the vein of Heat.
Yeah, he or even fucking like Manhunter or LA fucking what's the other one? Live and Die
To
in
live and
LA.
laugh, die now. Actually, is Firkin. He
Uh,
it always gets confused because it looks like a Michael Mann film.
all right. But yeah, like I because that's the thing, like because I'm like watching it and I'm like into it, but then I think a lot of leaps were taken to get to the resolution at the end, right? Like a lot of the character motivations, like I think just like shifted 180, like right when you're getting into the third act, just to get this movie kind of
You're like,
finished.
I need it to get here,
Yeah,
and it's not gonna get there on its own. So I'm just gonna like yank on the wheel to make it drive in that direction. Is that kind of where you're going?
yeah, pretty much. Like, do you agree, disagree?
I did feel that at points. My actual issue was this with this was There's a romantic component in about the midway through the film that I again in the end I'm like and it goes exactly where I expected. Like you got to set up the conflict, the like challenge of the main character played by Chris Hemsworth. Like, am I going to just run away or I'm going to stay for the girl? Blah 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 blah. First off, I would have just removed that because this film's at 2 hours 20 minutes. I think that if you get it closer to 2 hours, it tightens it up a bit. And I definitely felt that lull as we were in these like long scenes of him like courting the girl and blah blah blah. If you're gonna keep it, I think just shorten that stuff up, and it keeps it still brings down your runtime and keeps your pace up. I'm trying to think off the top of my head because, like you, I saw this yesterday. We're recording on the weekend that it opened. There were definitely things where I'm like, come on, what are you doing? Like, I actually thought, and we're not going to do any spoilers, so this episode is going to be a bit shorter and a little more just like you're going to have to just take our words for it because there's certain stuff that I thought, well, why wouldn't the detective just do this, or why wouldn't the criminal just do this? And actually, Barry Coogan's character and the interactions between him and Chris Hemsworth characters, sometimes I'm like, the fuck is going on right now? What?
Yeah,
like when he's following him, like first off, he sees that he's Chris Hemsworth's character sees that he's being followed and doesn't do certain things that I think he would have done. But then Barry Coogan's character is being followed by Chris Hemsworth, and like the whole thing in the grocery store or in the mini mart or whatever.
Oh my,
like it's a cool scene. Like it was
but
cool.
The cops
like, it was
would have
cool
been called right away.
But also just like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing just sitting down in the fucking grocery store, like chilling, waiting for the guy that's following you to follow you? Anyway, listen. That all that stuff aside, it's a solid film. It's a solid crime thriller. So I did a little TikTok on this and I put it in the vein of like Drive, Heat, and Live and Die in LA, which I rewatched last night as well, which is great. Also, I loved, and this made me feel like the perfect little film nerd, even though it's like not even on the nose, it's like punching you in the nose. When they make reference to some Steve McQueen films, I was like, he's gonna say Bullet. Like I felt like quite the little cinephile there. That's cinephile. Not to be confused with the president of the United States.
Yeah, and then they go with Thomas Crown Affair, which also was kind of more in line with what was going on. But like I thought greatly shot. I think performances are great.
Well, let's talk about that cast, man. Like you've got Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry.
Before we go,
Barry
I was gonna say before, like we'll go one on one. So Chris Hemsworth,
okay, go.
I thought great in this.
Does he take his shirt off? I can't remember.
Yes, that was my one critique. I'm like, you almost had it. Like, I'm like, you almost had the serious thing, but then you had to do the fucking bathroom or the bedroom shot where he had to roll over to show the abs. And I'm like, you motherfucker. I was like, you almost had it.
Like, I've been working out and I'm not eating carbs since 1990.
Yeah. But yeah, like Ruffalo's character, great performance too. But you could tell a little bit between Act 2, and it looks like some of his scenes in Act 3 were done in reshoots because he lost like some weight between the two, like the two scenes between Act 1.
He's doing yoga.
But that was the thing; it was two classes. I don't think he's slimming down that much after two classes, but still, like I thought well done. I thought the waste of a performance was Jennifer Jason Leigh for one scene.
Oh, gee, and that's a short scene too.
Yeah, well, actually, two scenes, like one in the bathroom, which was like a minute, and then the breakup one. I thought that was a waste because like that dynamic looked like it would have been like fucking super interesting to watch because of the performers involved. But I'm guessing it got, because of the runtime, all that backstory got cut.
Okay, just keep going.
Yeah, Halle Berry I thought was great. My issue, like I said, in terms of like getting stuff to act three was the fact that all of a sudden her motivation for doing everything was because the young girl came into the job. Now there's a
Oh,
younger
it was
woman
more.
and
No, no, no. That's not the motivation.
yeah,
The
yeah.
young girl is the catalyst. It's almost a mirror. She sees herself in that young character, and then there's the actions of her boss, the partner, and the fact that like it's not going the way it's. And he says to her, what's the number? Right, 53. Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
good number. They don't want 53. So it's more her just realizing like you got to start making your own moves. You got to make all the right moves.
Was she in that one?
Oh,
I was gonna say, wasn't she like Jungle Fever? No, she wasn't
no,
Jungle
she
Fever.
wasn't. No, 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 no.
No, no. But yeah, so Nick Nolte, great in the short time, but I'm guessing like I didn't research this. I don't know if you know, but I'm guessing he has like some ailments or stuff because all of his scenes were sitting down, right? Like, yeah, I'm guessing he couldn't just
I
due to
don't know. He's
age.
also old as fuck, isn't
Yeah,
he?
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
how old
due
is
to
Nick
his,
Nolte right now? He's got to be
I'm
like 80 years old.
I have no idea, to be honest. When was fucking what was the one he won with Barbara Streisand? Something Tides?
Yeah,
Oh, that was the 90s,
yeah,
right?
isn't that Prince of Tides, man? It's a long time ago. That tide has gone out. Man, poor Barry Keoghan though. Like, it's like you are a psycho. That is now what you lick semen off bathtubs. You and you act like a crazy motherfucker, and you fuck up things with Sabrina Carpenter, which is the dumbest thing that man has ever done or will ever do in his entire life.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
I just want to put that out there, dude. Dude, you're not an attractive man. You got to be with Sabrina Carpenter, and you wrecked it. So I think you should wear that. Shame, 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 shame. Ring the bell. Shame, shame, shame.
My God. Yes, I did not know this was gonna come into like fucking National Enquirer and People magazine. Like and
Listen,
now
I'm a pop culture guy sometimes, man. I'm a pop culture guy. And Sabrina Carpenter is fire, man. She's hot. Hot lady.
all right.
Go ahead. What
Go.
you got? What are
Yeah,
your
yeah.
top
Like
points on this film?
with Kogan, I thought the same, but I do like his performance, right? Where he was the the guy who's trying to take over or step into his father's role, who was like a crazy fucking like psycho. And that the confrontation between him and Ruffalo in that hotel room was fucking awesome because you can feel the fucking tension kind of going. But yeah, man, like all in all, I enjoyed
That end
it.
sequence, I just want to talk about that. We're not going to spoil anything. The end job, like these old films always have an end job or whatever. I love the tension. Like I loved it. Like again, like you could probably go back and rewatch it and like pick stuff apart, and other films have done that better. But like I was in. How are they gonna manage this stuff? And then like when the diamonds go in the safe, I was like, oh, I think I know what's happening. Like I was definitely in. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. And I think the thing that,
by the way, Nick Nolte's 85. Okay. He's
okay,
fucking,
yeah.
I can barely stand up all day for my job.
Yeah, but he's
let's give Nick some props for like needing a prop.
But what I was gonna say, the thing that I enjoyed with that last score kind of thing is the fact that Hemsworth is the seasoned professional, no violence, no DNA, no nothing, no trace, and like even though the score was as big as it is, he had the moments where he was like, I don't know if we could do this, right? Like I could do this. Because I love that line that they did was like, isn't this called walkaway money? And he goes like the walkaway score, and he goes, yeah,
walkaway money is you got to be able to walk away.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you see him doing all the calculations in his head, like he's fucking Zach Galifianakis at a Las Vegas table, and he like walked away until fucking Ruffalo gave him a call. But yeah, like and. Like in terms of Ruffalo's character, that's the only thing I don't get, like why he did what he did. Like to me, that went way out of what his character technically was portraying the whole way through. Because it seems
So
like he just did it for some pussy. He was just
yeah,
like,
yeah. So the again, maybe something got left on the cutting room floor because we don't see. This might be okay. I don't want to spoil stuff. What I would say in a non-spoiling way is, for in order to make Ruffalo's choices work, he would need to get some of the action and not just Halle Berry as the action, right? Like, because you know how like he's talking with his chief, and his chief is basically like, if you do this, you'll be welcome back. And if you don't, well, you know what I mean? So, like, you
mm,
know how it's like people making decisions about where their career is going to go. If he was going to take, if we saw how much he gave to Halle Berry and you're like, oh, okay, so he's kept some of that, a piece of that action for himself, then that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? But you
yeah,
almost need that little bit of disclosure to like fill in those gaps. That's the assumption I'm making. Even
yeah,
just as like, because you're right. Like, otherwise, you're just like, she also never went on like a date or anything. She
yeah,
stayed at
yeah,
his fucking condo, and like, that's a that's big simp. That's big simping, baby.
yeah, yeah. That was the thing. Like, and then she like talked him into renewing his yoga membership for $200 a month. She was
So I
like,
guess
"Should
she's
I come?"
that's her big career change. She's moving from
Yeah,
high end insurance salesman, the Scott Vegas of the world, to renewing renewing yoga memberships.
yeah. Well, that is the thing. I didn't want to get into it because I will plead the fifth. But yeah, I love how they're like, "Hey, there's insurance claims that the insurance company's not going to pay. Let's how can we get out of paying this fucking
Scott's like, oh
claims?"
wait, we can just use fucking lie
Lie
detectors.
detectors.
All right, I'm gonna talk about. I'm getting a motherfucking bonus.
You're like,
Where
let's
did you
run
have
this.
winter tires on your car? Beep.
That's right.
Um, so listen, okay, I mentioned Drive, Heat, and To Live and Die in LA. Those are classic films. Okay, like please do not go watch this movie and be like, fucking Chris said it's gonna be as good. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, if you like those films, you are going to enjoy this. Sort of like the way that like Black Bag is not the best espionage thriller ever written, but if you like a good espionage thriller, you're gonna like Black Bag. And that's how I feel about this film. It's got a great cast. Again, other than that lull, it's got some cool car chases. I really like the camera in front of the motorcycle at points. Also, the cinematics. This is what made me feel like Drive. Two things: the cinematography is done by Eric Wilson, who also worked on the director's documentary film The Imposter. He also did like Paddington 1 and 2. And so I'm looking through his stuff and I'm like, there's nothing in here that gives like neo noir. And this definitely has that neo noir vibe the way Drive does. But also the music scoring is by Blank Mass, which is like an electronic music producer or whatever. And it's got like, if you anybody who's seen Drive, that like pulsating, like the music in this is fucking banging. Like when Barry Coogan's character first shows up on the motorcycle and he's listening to like a dubstep kind of track, I was like, fuck yeah, baby, let's rock and roll. Like those two things. So you've got these almost like drone shot, which is interesting because To Live and Die in LA has a bunch of like helicopter shots of Los Angeles as well. And I don't know what they're doing, but the bokeh, the like the light that's coming off of the cars on the expressway and stuff, they're almost like allowing them to like drag out, so you get like the tracers and stuff. Like I was so transfixed by those
Mhm.
overhead shots of the LA freeway and stuff like that. And then again, you have this like electronic music score, which gives it that vibe of Drive. I think Drive is a much grittier film. I think Nicholas Winding Refn does a better job in that respect, but also based on a book, right? Like, and this is why
Mhm.
I think both Drive and this work is they come from novels, and so you have really good dialogue. So it doesn't end up just being like an action movie. You have some like interactions between characters, and the way they speak works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like my I went with my oldest to watch this, and then right after it was done, she was like, "Oh, they lined this up for a sequel." And I was like, "All right. You know how movies work?" I'm like, "This movie has to do good first before they get a sequel." But I'm like, can this world continue? is my question to you. Do you think where it's left that they can make another one? And would you want to see another one in this world?
Well, let's first talk about like you brought up with your child, money. So this thing had a $90 million budget. I'm guessing. So I don't remember a ton of marketing around this. Do you?
No, no.
So I don't.
But
I don't
but
think
I
they
also
spent $45
think
million on marketing. Usually, it's like a halfway or double your budget, right? So
right. But I also think that Amazon purchased this for 90 million as well.
is
Right,
that what
like
they
this
paid?
was,
I couldn't.
yeah,
I didn't look up how much
they paid 90
They beat
million
out
for
Netflix.
it.
I knew that.
Yeah, and the reason they beat out Netflix was because they guaranteed a theatrical component, and I'm sure Doug Lyman's like, what about my Roadhouse, motherfuckers? That was my
That's a garbage movie, though. This is not a garbage movie. So
yeah, but he's like, that was my component too, motherfuckers. You do it for Hemsworth, but you don't do it for Jake. But yeah, so I think in terms of that, like technically this movie's already like broken even because they
it's
like
because you're saying like the 20. Okay, again, time of recording, the number I have is 27 million. It will be higher than that. We recorded Sunday morning. So what you're saying is this is almost like free money. Like they were like, we're buying this thing. We've got oodles of money anyway. It's mostly meant for a streaming platform. Anything that it does in the theater is basically free money, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes. Now, whether or not they're like, this caught like, because in terms of the streamers, I'm still trying to wrap my head like what they consider a success.
We don't know because they don't release any of their fucking numbers either.
Right. But what I mean is it how many people watched the movie, or is it how many people subscribed and the first thing they watched was this movie?
I bet you it's all of those things. I bet you
right?
they've got like a nerds that just sit there and analyze that data because it's all real-time data, right? Like they know exactly how much you watched, who watched it, did on release date, did subscriptions go up, and then like the Venn diagram of all of those things together, right? So,
right.
So first off, I think this is going to kill it in streaming. Like when you have no excuse to like the movie theater is a bit of a barrier for some people. This film with this cast and like this kind of like even just hype of like critics talking about it being like a decent film, some action, some drama. I think this is going to fucking dominate in streaming. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree.
I think it's a perfect streaming film.
Yeah. I think it would also do well once it does release on Prime. But yeah, like it's just whether or not they find that there's enough like meat on the bone after to go in for, a second bite. Because how much is it now going to cost to get this cast back? My guess is Halle Berry doesn't come back, right? It will just be a new like Mark kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah. So Chris Hemsworth is your guy then, right?
Right, like, and maybe Ruffalo, yeah, or maybe Ruffalo, right? Or now they
in that response. So that means the way to do that though is it means Chris Hemsworth would have to keep doing scores in Los Angeles, unless what you let's game this out. Let's say we move to New York, right? Hemsworth fucking books it across country. Now he's going to set up. He's going to go Thief. You know what I mean? I think Thief is New York or is it Chicago? I can't remember. He goes to New York. They're having all these types of things. And then maybe Ruffalo has decided to leave policing because, he's got a bit of loot. He's got his own, his own private practice going on. Right. And then somehow they're like, we've got this fucking series of robberies happening. I know you guys had something out in LA. They're like, yeah, well, the guy that handled that, he's over here doing this private thing. That's how he gets caught. And he's like, this feels like it's got the fingerprints of, or they start working together.
So you're going right? Den of Thieves too.
Yeah. Right. So it's possible. I mean, Amazon has the money to do that. Basically, I think if they want to do this, all they got to do is find a script writer that can write a script that Hemsworth is interested in. I would actually probably bring my budgets down, right? Like once you get into a franchise like this, if you're going to do it for a streaming service, as long as there's no requirement for theatrical release or even a minimum theatrical release, you can bring it down from $90 million. Or you continue to have those $90 million films because you're fucking Amazon and you have unlimited money, and you keep slotting in other, A-list actors that are, they're not at the top of their game anymore. And you give them, like having Nick Nolte and Jennifer Jason Leigh and stuff like that. Like, you bring those characters back and you just kind of use it as a little vehicle for kind of like aging A-listers, something like that.
Yeah, like this, like technically you could frame, like the way I was thinking, if they were to do it, it was like, this is Crime 101. The next one's
Crime 102.
No, next one's Assassination 101, right? Nick Nolte's going after Hemsworth, right? So he's sending like hitmen after him, right?
Yeah, that could work. I don't know. Here's my question for you: would you want to see a franchise of this? Because to me, I'm fine. Like, it's good.
I think
I don't want you to fucking turn this character into like a caricature of itself.
And that's where my thought was. I'm like, not every movie needs a sequel. I like having one and done's, right? Because that's the thing. You just throw this one in
what
whenever.
Your wife said too. Hi-oh!
Yeah, because it's not my fault once it goes in. Buddy, it's not my fault. I do my job.
I go.
Yeah, I'll be like, this is what I gotta do to do the podcast with Chris. All right, here you go. But yeah,
it's like, I really wish you were having the affair I thought you were having, because you guys just nerding out about movies fucking sucks.
I know, sure enough. But yeah, I do want to say, I want to like talk about one thing, spoilerish. And then
okay.
And then I'll be done.
Everybody heard that? Plug your ears. Go ahead, Scott.
So my huge criticism of this movie was the girlfriend scenario. I know you talked about it, but we could have taken it out. Here was my thing, because this is Crime 101. Like, I really wanted her to be the fucking con, where she just hits like guys that are like have a hot ass car, like huge expensive cars, moves them, then takes all their money, and that's fucking it. Like, I thought, because that way you have the crime factor from each. So he was just her score, right? So you have different kinds of crimes literally happening at the same time without anybody really realizing the crimes in general until the end.
Well, right? A way you could have done that is you could have had another. So there is the score that Barry Keoghan does. You could still have that, but you could also have one that, like, a smaller score that Chris Hemsworth pulls off, and then he is like already developed like a trust with her, and he's like, "Yo, I need you to take this like bag of money or jewels or whatever," and then she fucking books it.
Well, you don't even need that.
Hold on.
He be like, "Shut the fuck up." I be quiet, but when he leave, I be talking again.
That could be another pressure point to why he's got to do the job that he didn't want to do. Right? Is like, you got Mark Ruffalo calling up and being like, "I know who you are," and he's like, "That's fine. I've got this bag of cash. I'm out anyway." And then he finds out the chick just ripped him off, and now he's really in the shit. Right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the walkaway money, and he's got the fucking cops on his tail.
Yeah, like you could have literally done it right after the scene where he had his shirt off. After they like did it for the first time, he goes back to she's leaving, right? And when she goes out, she could have just took a bunch of his shit while he's just like, what kind of gentleman is that he just stayed in bed even too? Better,
and not that we want to go down this road too much, but when he says, "You're not staying," and she says like, "Will you want me to?" And if he, that's like, so it's like she's like setting the hook. He's like, "Yeah," and then she like gets back in the bed and he's like, "Just have some coffee. I'll be right back," or "I'm gonna go grab coffee." Right? And so he pops out. He comes back. Boom. Everything's fucking gone. Like, all the important shit is gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, this film was the type of film I came out of the theater and I just wanted to drive my car fast, even though I so I got up to 100 kilometers an hour. It was crazy, man. My hair was blowing in the wind. It almost blew it right off. Do you think this is rises to the level of like a neo-noir? Like, I know there's some like very specific definitions of a neo-noir, but like the example, the definition I'm kind of loosely working with is like, it's stylized. So you got a crime thriller, But if it's got like a bunch of cool style, I find that like that is your first kind of hurdle you have to, because neo-noirs are always, they look really good.
Wouldn't this be like
the window shades and stuff like that?
I was gonna say, wouldn't this be the one kind of like you were saying neon noir?
Well, it's not neon. There's no neon in the movie.
What do you talk about? Where the Chinese like restaurant place that Nick Nolte hangs out with? That's all neon. Barry Cogan, when he's driving his motorcycle, it's all like purples.
All right,
and like...
maybe. Okay. Maybe.
Right.
It's a neon noir. Do you got anything else you want to talk about in this film, Scott?
No.
Do you recommend? Do you recommend?
Yeah, I do think people can, like, it's a solid 7 out of 10, right? Like, I do think like it's well done. I do recommend it. I think people will enjoy this, right? And yeah, I definitely do recommend going it, because I do think original IP and just one and done films are good to watch, especially in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, go watch it in the movie theater. It's you, by the time this comes out, the long weekend will be over. But I'm hoping people here in Canada, well, here in Ontario for sure, who have a long weekend, they go and check it out. I mean, the theater was pretty full, which I was happy about. It definitely looks good on the big screen. And again, if you're not gonna fucking drag your ass to the movie theater, put it on your watch list, because you're gonna enjoy it when it comes out on streaming. Like I said, you got a great cast, you got lots of like car chases and all that bullshit, and like I said, it's a well written film. So if you don't have anything else, Scott, let me know, and then I will finish this out with a quote.
Yeah, isn't there something you wanted to talk about? Something else you watched quickly?
Yeah, we'll do that in the after show.
All right, cool.
So I got from IndieWire, I got Ryan Ladzino. He says, well, Crime 101 runs like a remodeled version of earlier, better heist movies from the 90s and early 2000s, but with less parts. There is enough gas in the tank and competence at the wheel to merit a spin.
And that is our wrap for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell your friends. If you want to get a hold of us, reach us at the www.howdyoulikethatmovie.com.
Yeah, so Scott, one thing I wanted to bring up for Valentine's, because I'm a big fucking loser, I went to the movies and I watched Romeo and Juliet, the 90s one with Leo and Claire Danes. And one thing I really want to point out, one of the things I really noticed is like, man, like the costumings, the attention to detail, the set decoration, like I'm just old enough now that, and I've seen it enough times that I can like look into the crowd, I can see the background, and I can see like what is going on and all the like little nuances, like Shakespearean references as like liquor ads or cigarette ads and stuff. And I honestly, between that and the fucking soundtrack, fucking movie rocks. But I really want to know what that pitch session looked like. Like you go in and you're like, all right, I got a movie for you. It's Romeo and Juliet, but in like modern times. And the executive's like, cool. So you're gonna change the Old English, right? And then it's like that meme. You're gonna change the Old English. Nah, we're gonna keep it in fucking iambic pentameter. Like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck gave these guys $15 million to make fucking Romeo and Juliet in fucking Old English? I mean, it was super successful, but like, I want to know who had blackmail photos on who in order to get that fucker made.
No, man, I guarantee you, like, once they said they're gonna keep it Old English, and they're like, who the fuck is gonna watch this? They're like, every grade 10 student that's studying Shakespeare right now. They're like, they don't want to read the book, they'd rather watch Leo. And they were right, because it fucking made millions of dollars.
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.